South Park has built an empire on stupidity. Every time someone in that town does something idiotic, it isn't a bug, it's the point. Trey Parker and Matt Stone mastered the art of weaponizing dumb behavior. Every zero IQ moment hides a razor-sharp commentary on real life. The parents panic like children, the children act like dictators, and the politicians are always one bad idea away from total collapse. Logic doesn't survive in South Park. It gets buried under conspiracy theories, mob outrage, and total denial of common sense. From Mr. Garrison turning his classroom into chaos to Randy Marsh leading full-scale protests based on nonsense, the show proves that stupidity is the town's official language, and that's why it works. These aren't simple mistakes or accidents. They're legendary lapses in brain function that became part of television history. No one carries that torch better than Randy Marsh, South Park's patron saint of idiotic confidence. He doesn't just make bad decisions, he commits to them with full scientific enthusiasm. In the pandemic special 2020, Randy believes his Tegrity weed business somehow caused the COVID-19 outbreak after a trip to China. Instead of feeling shame, he decides to fix the pandemic by lacing his marijuana with his own DNA, turning guilt into a marketing plan. It's business logic straight from a fever dream. Then there's Medicinal Fried Chicken, 2010, where Randy learns he can legally smoke weed only if he has cancer. His solution? Stand in front of a microwave until his testicles balloon to the size of gym balls. He hops down the street on them like a child on a space hopper, proud of his success. That's Randy in one frame, a man who will literally mutate himself to win a point no one asked him to make. His stupidity peaks again in Creme Fraiche, 2010. When he becomes addicted to Food Network cooking shows and turns his kitchen into a full-blown adult fantasy set. He ruins his marriage chasing the thrill of cooking competitions, treating every recipe like a romantic affair. And then comes Sarcastiball, 2012, where Randy reacts to new football safety rules by inventing a sport based entirely on sarcasm and bras. Somehow, people take him seriously, and South Park Elementary ends up adopting it as an official sport. Every episode featuring Randy is a masterclass in what happens when blind confidence meets absolute nonsense. He's convinced he's a genius. That's what makes his stupidity so powerful. But Randy isn't alone in the Zero IQ Hall of Fame. His biggest rival is a fourth grader with the mind of a dictator and the emotional range of a potato, Eric Cartman. His intelligence looks sharp on paper, but every one of his master plans is built on the dumbest foundation imaginable. In Scott Tenorman Must Die, 2001, Cartman spends the entire episode trying to get revenge on an older kid who tricked him into buying pubic hair for $16. He spends weeks scheming, faking charities, and setting traps. And while he ultimately wins in horrifying fashion, the fact that the entire plan started because he wanted to own pubes says everything about his IQ level. It's tactical genius wrapped around total stupidity. In Ginger Kids 2005, Cartman gives a school presentation calling redheads soulless and dangerous. It backfires when he wakes up one morning with red hair, freckles, and a burning belief that he is now the chosen leader of the Ginger Nation. Within hours, he builds a cult, delivers sermons, and declares war on non-gingers. His mind is powerful enough to create a religion overnight, but too dumb to realize it's all based on his own sleepwalking prank. Then there's Tist, 2006. Where Cartman's mom tries every parenting method to control him. From Nanny 911 to Super Nanny, none work. So when she brings in Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer, Cartman literally starts acting like an aggressive pet. He growls, bites, and crawls on all fours. And it works. The idea that a human child solves his discipline problem by pretending to be a dog is peak South Park stupidity. Yet, in true Cartman style, he takes pride in it. One of his most iconic disasters comes from Casa Bonita, 2003. When Kyle invites Butters instead of him to a birthday party at his favorite Mexican restaurant, Cartman reacts rationally by kidnapping Butters and locking him in a bomb shelter for days. He throws Kyle's party as if nothing happened, diving into the restaurant's waterfall and celebrating his victory. Even his most elaborate plans reveal how low his reasoning really goes. He's a sociopath powered by childlike logic. South Park's perfect example of intelligence turning inward until it implodes. And then there's Butters, the town's purest soul and dumbest thinker. While Cartman manipulates people through cruelty, Butters fails upward through innocence. In Butters' Bottom Bitch, 2009, he accidentally becomes a pimp. After talking to a girl who mentions getting paid for kisses, he decides to help other girls earn money too. Within a day, he's running an entire prostitution ring without realizing it's illegal. When police finally catch him, he proudly tells them he's just helping the ladies achieve financial independence. In Awesome O, 2004, Butters befriends a cardboard robot that's clearly Cartman in disguise, with taped-on boxes, no faceplate, and a voice that sounds exactly like Cartman. Yet Butters spends days confiding every secret he has to the robot, even planning to sell it to Hollywood for millions. His blind trust makes the episode both painful and hilarious. In The Ungroundable, 2008, Butters joins a group of goth kids after mistaking them for vampires. When the town panics over vampire infestations, he becomes the unintentional ringleader of a moral crisis. His pure confusion triggers an entire anti-vampire movement at South Park Elementary. And back in Casa Bonita, 2003, when Cartman locks him in that bomb shelter, Butters spends days worrying he disappointed his friend, the same friend who literally kidnapped him. Butters' stupidity doesn't come from ego like Randy's or malice like Cartman's. It's innocent, unstoppable, and completely genuine. He's the only character in South Park who can ruin everything without meaning to, and still make you feel sorry for him. His brain may never catch up, but his heart never stops trying. That's why, in a town full of chaos and delusion, Butters is the only idiot who never truly loses. Then there's Child Abduction Is Not Funny, 2002, which takes the idea of helicopter parenting to its dumbest extreme. After one missing child case airs on the news, every parent in town decides that the world outside their front door is a death trap. Instead of simply teaching safety, they hire Mongolians to build a literal Great Wall of South Park. The wall is massive, useless, and, in classic South Park fashion, constantly attacked by Mongolians themselves. The episode shows what happens when fear meets overconfidence. Parents build a fortress so ridiculous that it becomes more dangerous than the problem they were trying to solve. By 2006, their stupidity got environmental. In Smug Alert, everyone buys hybrid cars and immediately becomes unbearable. The town starts congratulating itself so aggressively that they literally fart pride into the air, forming clouds of smug that nearly destroy South Park. The episode nails modern eco-virtue signaling before social media even made it popular. Nobody saves the planet. They just drown in the smell of their own moral superiority. And when disaster strikes, adults never ask questions. They run for their lives. 2 days before the Day After Tomorrow, 2005, shows them losing their minds after an accidental flood. Instead of investigating what happened, the entire town blames global warming and sprints around screaming, "We didn't listen," while ignoring the kids actually trying to fix the problem. It's pure parody of political panic. The adults aren't reacting to facts, they're reacting to guilt. In South Park, logic isn't just dead, it's buried under a pile of badly written emergency plans. If the townspeople are dumb, their institutions are worse. The government, media, and corporations in South Park function like malfunctioning robots programmed to misunderstand everything. In Margaritaville, 2009, the US economy collapses, and instead of finding practical solutions, the citizens literally start worshipping the market as a vengeful god. They sacrifice chickens, hold rituals, and debate whether spending or saving is more pious. It's religion born from economics. The real brilliance of the episode is how straight they play it. The Treasury Department acts like priests, Congress behaves like cult members, and the only person making sense is a confused kid with a calculator. In Sponsored Content, 2015, the stupidity reaches digital levels. The entire town becomes hypnotized by online ads. People can't tell the difference between real news and sponsored clickbait, and characters literally start describing ads as self-aware. The more they fight the manipulation, the deeper they get stuck inside it. It's social commentary disguised as a tech horror story where the monsters aren't hackers or corporations. It's regular people too dumb to realize they're being sold their own opinions. Then comes Go Fund Yourself, 2014. When the Washington Redskins lose their trademark after a legal dispute, The boys decide to name their startup company the Washington Redskins. The entire business community treats it as a stroke of genius. Nobody sees the hypocrisy or moral insanity, only innovation. It's one of those moments where the show stops feeling like parody because it's too close to real life. In About Last Night, 2008, the country's reaction to Obama's election is turned into a heist movie. Democrats celebrate like the world has ended, Republicans mourn like it actually has, and behind the scenes, both groups secretly team up to rob a diamond. It's an absurd take on politics as theater. Everyone's playing a role nobody's thinking. South Park's bureaucracies and governments aren't just stupid, they're so confident in their stupidity that they accidentally make profound points about how institutions really behave. Technology doesn't save them either. The smarter the invention, the dumber the user. In The F Word, 2009, the adults of South Park get so annoyed by a group of loud Harley riders that they rewrite the dictionary to make FG officially mean annoying motorcycle rider. They congratulate themselves for curing hate speech, all while proving they have no clue how language or context works. And then there are the moments where stupidity transcends reason entirely. The Zero IQ Hall of Fame. In The Snook, 2007, the town panics when a rumor spreads that Hillary Clinton has a nuclear bomb hidden inside her body. The US military invades within hours. In Red Man's Greed, 2003, Native American casino owners try to wipe out South Park with SARS-infected blankets. The townspeople cure themselves with a home remedy of chicken soup, Dayquil, and Sprite. In The Return of Chef, 2006, they rebuild Chef from spare parts, creating a demonic robot corpse that tries to kill them. And in Pandemic 2008, the boys start a Peruvian flute band to make easy money, which somehow sparks a global panic in government raids. Each of these moments shows the show's most precise formula. When stupidity, fear, and confidence mix in equal parts, the result is perfection. South Park doesn't exaggerate human behavior, it just removes the thin layer of logic that normally hides it.